Season 3, Chapter 6, Italian Grand Prix. The summer break is over and Malachi Wilson's returned with a vengeance, finishing on the podium in the first two races back. While AlphaTauri have dropped off, Red Bull have pushed forward and stand as Wilson's closest challengers in the championship. Today, Malachi has a huge chance to fulfill a dream of winning at Monza in a Ferrari.
Welcome back to one of only two countries that has held a race every year since the very first Formula One World Championship in 1950. It is, of course, Italy, one of the great racing nations. And it's time to get underway for the Italian Grand Prix. With top speeds reaching 215 miles per hour, only a few places can challenge Monza's crown as the fastest circuit in F1. Hard braking zones going into the three chicanes make up the majority of the 11 corners on this 3.6-mile circuit. And just in case the slipstream wasn't enough, two DRS zones will help encourage some closer action. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here today, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn one. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course, you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Wilson, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Sainz, Norris, Gasly, Bottas, and Lewis Hamilton, Stroll, Ocon, Nikita Mazepin and Ricciardo, Ireland, Russell, and Guan Yu Zhou and Nicholas Latifi, Tsunoda and Mick Schumacher. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So here we are then at the beginning of lap number 13. Verstappen just coming to pits and we lead the Italian Grand Prix for the first time today. Our objective there is to fight Verstappen for the top spot and win the Grand Prix. That's the main aim in order to fulfill one of Malachi's biggest dreams, to win the Italian Grand Prix in a Ferrari in front of the Tifosi. But our pit stop is coming up pretty quickly here. At the end of this lap number 13, we'll come into the pit lane now for a change onto a set of medium tyres. Unsure as to what Red Bull have put Verstappen on. I'm assuming it'll be medium tyres, not 100% sure. They could go for something crazy and go for hard tyres. We're going to put on the mediums here. And those will get us to the end of the race, no problem. We're expecting Verstappen out of the last corner now. He's making his way out of Parabolica as we leave our pit box and make our way towards the exit of the pit lane. Where is Verstappen on the board? Here he comes, and Red Bull may have shot him in the foot here because they put him on hard tyres, so he's going to be a bit slower compared to us because we're going on medium tyres. They're a lap fresher, and so we've got a golden opportunity to try to win the race. We overshot turn one massively there, and on the exit Verstappen gets away a little bit. I feel like he's going to need that gap. He's going to need as much of advantage as he can, but we'll catch him pretty quickly here. Coming to the end of lap number 14 now, making our way out of Ascari and down towards that final corner of the iconic Parabolica. Closing in on Verstappen, a race knots here, only half a second behind him. So I'm thinking we could go for a move on the main straight with DRS. Here we go now, through Parabolica, out of that sweeping right-hander and back down towards the line to begin lap number 14, and the yellow flags are out. And for the second episode in a row, it looks like our teammate Carlos Sainz is struggling. I'm unsure as to what's going on with him there. He's slowing down. Will he be out of the race? We can't focus on that too much though, because here we come passing Verstappen on the inside to take the lead for the first time on track today in this Italian Grand Prix. We've already pulled out three quarters of a second through the corner, but I doubt Verstappen's going to be done next because he's going to come right back at us and move on to lap number 17 now. A couple of laps later, he's still right there in the hunt, just under half a second behind at this point. So he's making a charge towards us now. He's now within 4 tenths and almost 3 tenths already as we make our way towards Parabolica once again. And keep an eye on Perez, who's closing in a little bit behind. He's currently 6.2 seconds back. He's been closing in a decent amount over the course of the last couple laps since he took the lead. And Verstappen's closing in on us at a rate of knots here as he comes down that main straight. He's going to have DRS and he might be using his battery as well. We're going to use our battery in order to try to hold him off. He charges to the right hand side and takes the lead back from us. We're going to try and go back on his inside as he moves over to the left hand side into turn one. He's left the door wide open there for us. We've gone over the curb a little bit. Verstappen went over the curb as a result in turn two. We've managed to get the better drive off despite skidding a little bit on the exit. We've managed to get away and just pull out that one car length leader of Verstappen to come right back at us now through Curva Grande. Here we go. This is going to get interesting. Verstappen retakes the lead. We're going to try and get him on the inside on the run down to the next chicane, but he's going to hold us off. There's contact there. We've run too close to him, and I'm surprised we haven't got any sort of wing damage there. So we're really lucked out. I mean, in a regular situation, we would have had wing damage, I'm sure. Or something happened here. Maybe it didn't hit him as hard as I thought. Regardless, though, we're going to have DRS on Verstappen now to make our way back down towards Ascari. To have once again a crack at the lead. We use our ERS as well, just to make sure we have a better chance of getting in. But it doesn't have as much effect. We are closing in. We'll be able to get to the inside in time to go for a move. And look at Perez there. He's already gained around 2 seconds on us two fighting the lead. We ram into the back of Verstappen's car once again through Ascari there. Let's try and get him towards Parabolica if we can. If not, we'll have to get him on the main straight. We should definitely get him there. Third time around. Here we go now towards that famous right-hander. Once again going very close to the back of Verstappen's machine. There we go, off the last corner, try and get a good exit, good run him off the turn. We're going to go back in his tyre and move over to the left-hand side. Use our battery and deploy the DRS down the straight. Begin lap number 19, and we take the lead back in this Italian Grand Prix. Perez is still just there, just under 4 seconds behind. And that will change very quickly as you come towards the end of lap number 19 now. So Verstappen comes back at us again with a defence to the left-hand side. We're on the grass bit, Verstappen's going to look inside. And Perez has gained 2 seconds in the space of that one lap. We've gone wide to Parabolica there. Verstappen seizes his chance and retakes the lead. We're going to have DRS on him if I'm not mistaken. Actually, no, we don't have DRS. Verstappen's got it. That's going to make our chances of passing a lot difficult here. We're going to have to go late on the brakes if Verstappen gets too far away. If he moves back over to the left, he doesn't. We're going to go around the left ourselves and go around the outside. Oh, a bit of contact there, a bit of wheel banging in turn one. We have to be very careful here because I doubt the car can take too much damage without really ruining our race. And Perez now a second behind. Look how quickly he's been closing in. He's faster than both us and Verstappen at this stage of the race. We've still got 8 laps to go here, so there's still plenty of time for him to get involved. Coming to the end of lap number 20, he's right behind us. He's within that 1 second range still. 7/10. We're still focusing on Verstappen here because he's been fighting for the whole race so far. We go around his outside, heading into Parabolica once again. He backs out this time, so they retake the top spot once again. But Verstappen out of DRS here. As you look now at the championship standings according to the radio, it appears that this victory is going to be the difference between us leading the championship and leaving this place in second in the standings. Verstappen retakes the top spot, that pushes us back down by a couple of points. Go back to his outside if we can. Well, it's just about squeezing there. He's locked up at turn 1. I just saw the left tyre on our right hand side locking up a bit, and Perez is now right behind Verstappen, so we have to hold off both the Red Bulls at this stage in the race in order to win the race, fulfill the dream and complete the chapter. So it's going to be a very tight finish here. On to lap number 23. Perez is now into second place. Verstappen's really dropped back, and now Perez might the wily old fox, the Mexican over goes. We've gone way wide there. We've gone over the curb. We've hit the gravel, and both Perez and Verstappen get past us, and that could be costly at this stage in the Grand Prix. We've only got a couple of laps to go here, so whether or not we're able to catch these two could be, it's a different matter entirely as to defending from the car. I definitely felt this car could hold them off. Whether we can get past them on raw pace this late in the race is another matter. Moving on to the end of lap number 23, though, we have kept pace with Verstappen. We've got no ERS to use this lap off the last corner, so we can get away a bit better than we did. We've got our battery back now as we cross the line. We've got the DRS as well, so we're not be able to go late on the brakes if we can. So we're very, very tight. We're going to go all the way. We're going to absolutely send it into turn 1. No contact made. That was a very nice overtake from Malachi there, and that puts us back up into second place and not too far behind Perez. He's going to be our main target, looks at it now, but Verstappen's definitely not still in the fight should he stay within DRS range. So it's definitely not over yet for any one of us three, but we still want to come out on top as always. So here we go, they're making our way to the chicane, being very careful not to hit those sausage curves. Perez gets a better exit there, but he's still within that we're still within that 1 second range of him. So we've still got a good chance of trying to make a pass with the use of the DRS once again. Making our way now out of the 2 Desmonds and down on that run once again towards Ascari. DRS now open. We use some of our battery as well down the straight. Perez is 7/10 in front, so I doubt we'll be able to go for a move into the chicane this time. So I think we'll have to wait until either we get down that straight towards Parabolica or off the last corner. Over the curve there very nicely. Didn't come off too much speed or lose too much time. We're really closing on now. We're really making up that lost time. We have 3 more laps to go when we cross the line. We're trying hopefully get Perez as quickly as we can here. We'll go to his outside here through Parabolica. We go wide as a result, so Perez stays in front. We're still going to have that DRS, and we've just about run out of the DRS there, so Perez might get away a little bit, but not too much. On to lap number 25. Just 3 more laps to go. Verstappen 7.5 tenths behind us. We're going to get back around the outside. Perez into turn 1 and retake the lead. We've overshot turn 1 once again. We're going over the curb big time there, but keep it on the track. Verstappen's also gone a bit wild as well, as did Perez trying to avoid us, so we've managed to stay in front for the time being. We've still got to hold them off here. We might have both cars coming back at us with DRS though, because he'll be right behind us. Perez less than 3 tenths in. Here he comes now. He's going to move over to the right hand side. We've left the outside wide open. He's going to force him all the way around into a Ascari, but he gets past us anyway and gets clear. We'll see if he can come back on the inside. We'll go full behind him for the time being. Probably try and get him again on the main straight. We've gone way wide there. We've gone off into the gravel and we're losing big time now. And Perez almost a second in front. We've got to stay within DRS range as best we can here. Verstappen's still half a second behind, so he's still got a decent chance of passing us for second place. Oh, this has gone so horribly poorly now with 2 laps to go. We've got to chase down Perez and catch him in these closing stages. On to lap number 26 now. 2 laps left. The DRS now being deployed. We're still just managed to stay within DRS range. So going down towards turn 1, we might be able to go for an audacious move on the brakes. Nope, not close enough, not at all worth it. Going to stay in line for the minute. Hope to go for something on the final lap. So we're going to move ahead now onto that last lap of the Grand Prix, out of the last corner and towards the line to begin the last lap. Over the line to start. Once again, DRS being deployed, using the battery as well, throwing the absolute kitchen sink at it. All or nothing into turn 1 now. This is going to be one of our last chances to take the win, take the lead from Perez and the victory as a result. We're going to make contact with them and dive in as hard as we can through turn 2. They've gone wide and Verstappen's right there on our left. Where did he come from? And Perez is now getting away, and I feel like that might have just sold it because he's getting away to a decent advantage, and Verstappen's getting past us now as well. And try and get him back going to the scene. I think we might be able to get off if we go late on the brakes. We're going to get him on the right left hand side going in. We're back down to second place, but I think that's honestly it. That's all we can do as Perez completely pulled away from us on that final lap, and we're out of DRS now. And in just the most heartbreaking way possible, we were fighting Verstappen for the win, and Perez has come through and nicked it in the final furlong, and that is chapter failed despite us finishing in second place. Honestly, I don't believe that that's happened, and I'm very, very cross about it. But we do have to give respect to Perez then, who did manage to snatch the victory from both myself and Verstappen in the closing laps of the race. All credit to the Red Bull team, but Malachi was a lap or so, 2 laps away from achieving one of his dreams, like winning the Italian Grand Prix with Ferrari, and it's been snatched away in perhaps the cruelest of fashions. And I think that potentially means that Perez leapfrogs both us and Verstappen in the Drivers' Championship. So there it is then. Perez wins the race, us in second, Verstappen third, Gasly fourth, Giovinazzi fifth, Norris in sixth, Lewis Hamilton seventh, Charles Leclerc eighth, Bottas 9th, and Ocon 10th, and Sainz came back to finish top from the end after that issue. But guys, that is the end of another episode of the Prodigy. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like, share and subscribe. Check out the playlist if you're new around here. And as always, you guys, once again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Heartbreak. Sergio Perez claims victory for Red Bull, simultaneously crushing Malachi's dream of Ferrari home glory and jumping both Wilson and Verstappen in the Drivers' Championship. But he won't let that stop him. It's not over yet.